Hey guys, I'm here at Riker's Cafe, famous spot, motorcycle cafe spot just outside London. One of my great places to go for a ride up Box Hill. Really nice to come out here. To start this video, 5 reasons you should ride a motorbike. We're going to jump on my bike now outside. I'm going to have a bit of breakfast, finish my lovely coffee in my debit mug, and we'll jump out and we're going to go through 5 reasons why you should ride a motorbike, especially in 2022. Here she is. If we just jump on my Speedmaster here, my baby, my bit of fun. We're going to head to Box Hill. It's just up here on the left. Beautiful ride. And then get into the first point of why you should ride a motorbike. There's one point. Listen to that. Woo! Sounds good. Now that's not the first point. Let's get straight into it. God, I'm stuffed after that breakfast. Oh, that's good. Full English. The first point of why you should ride a motorbike, we'll start with one of the less serious points, but no less important. And then I think we're going to end it on the 5th point with personally my main reason why I think you should ride a motorbike. But the first one, without any further ado, is because it's fun. Simple as that. It's just the funnest thing to do. Why would you not do something that's fun? A nice light-hearted point. Just that. Oh, the noise of the engine coming round corners here. Leaning in, looking around the corner, you can feel the bike leaning, you can feel a bit of grip. Then rev it out. It's just such an involving experience. I can feel that big engine, the V-twin, beneath me, throbbing away. That's the first point. It's so much fun. I feel like a kid again. Every time I jump on my bike, I feel like a kid in a candy shop. It just makes you, well, I'm not that old. I'm 32, but it makes you feel like a kid again, feel young again. Just takes away all of that stress of life and it simplifies it. You're on your bike, whether you're cruising, you're going fast, whatever you're up to, it's just great fun to get out on your bike and ride. There's not much other, I personally don't think there's another form of transport in the world that is more fun than riding a motorbike. Let me know if you can think of one. I mean, where do you get this? I'm out, I can feel the air. It's a little bit cold. I've got the sunshine in my face. I'm not in a bubble of a car, in a metal box. You're more connected with nature and the world, let's say. Bit of a deep one, but you are. It brings you much closer to nature. Aware of your surroundings, much more mindful and present. I know it sounds pretty heavy, serious stuff, but it is. It really does do that. Fun things in life, especially these days, having gone through COVID, some hard times for a lot of people, to be able to just strip life down and just have fun. It's a really important thing that we should all be seeking to do nowadays. Fellow biker, this looks like a good place for a stop to get on to point number 2 of why you should ride a motorbike. I love those little Honda, can't remember the Honda. We'll have a look. It's the beauty of just exploring on your bike. You come across cool places like this, and it's always a pleasure to bump into other bikers, however big or small your bike is. That's awesome, that thing. Just sticking on point 1 quickly, an example of how fun motorbikes can be. This is mine here. It's like a cruiser, if you don't know, Triumph Speedmaster, classic looking British sort of gentleman's motorbike, which I love. But then look at this, just bumped into this little Honda 125. How much fun does that look? It's all about the variety in motorbikes. That is, honestly, that is tiny. I don't know if it comes out in the camera. Look at that, you've got to love that. It's all about the fun. You don't get that anywhere else. Now if we zoom in a bit, check out the exhaust. The Black Widow. A great example of how fun motorbikes can be. Coming on to point number 2. Get a bit closer for this. they're cheap to buy. It is a big point. Yeah, compared to cars, pretty much compared to any other motorised vehicle, they're possibly one of the cheapest to buy. The bang for your buck is just incredible. So for example, the best-selling motorbike ever worldwide, they've sold over 100 million units of this motorbike, is the Honda Super Cub. Okay, so to put that into perspective, price-wise, the best-selling modern car in the world is the Toyota Corolla. 35.7 million units of that sold. It's not a small number, it's not over 100 million compared to the Honda Super Cub, but it's quite a lot. That retails at 25,455 sterling British pounds. So for that, I could buy 7 and nearly a half Honda Cubs compared to the Toyota Corolla. Just think about that for a minute. Now that is the low down money-wise spectrum of cars. That's a relatively cheap car, £25,000. It's a lot of money, but it's a cheap car. If we ramp it up a bit, let's say a brand new Ferrari, I don't know, a high-spec Ferrari, £250,000. You could actually almost buy a house and then maybe 15 Honda Cubs and still have a little bit of change left. It's weird when you put it like that, but the bang for buck you get for motorbikes is incredible. Coming on to point 3, which is a big one, of why you should ride a motorbike. And I actually think especially in 2022 this is relevant. Let's see if you can guess. Where are we now? With the figure being the average motorbike miles per gallon for petrol is 57 mpg. Now for a petrol car, for instance, just as a comparison, I'm not hating on cars, it's just the facts, the average consumption is 37 mpg. If you look down here, here we go, trailer's moved. Thank you, sir. If we look down here, actually my fuel light's on, trusty old Speedy with a small fuel tank. I average, if you can see that, I'll put up on the other camera, this bike averages 60.3 miles per gallon, and that is really good, and it's a really big point. Let's start topping her up and I'll explain some more. Nothing but the good stuff for Speedy. Shell V-Power. So I don't know if you can see that. She was pretty much running on empty there. So it's a good idea of how much it costs to fill an average motorbike up. Bearing in mind I'm going for the premium fuel. Helps if you don't spill it on the floor. £13.70. That should do me for quite a while. So guys, there's a real life example there. I think it's quite obvious that motorbikes are a lot more fuel efficient than other modes of transport, for example cars. But the reason I think it's so applicable in 2022 is because we've had such a tough time. The world has had such a tough time with coronavirus. Economies and governments have spent so much money. Everyone's starting to feel the financial pressure. I certainly am a little bit. So to be able to save a few pennies on your fuel or your mode of transport, let's say, which ties in with the cheaper initial buying costs of motorbikes, is not to be sniffed at nowadays, especially with this pandemic and the state that some economies and the financial state of the world is in at the moment. Again, with rising costs in the UK anyway, can't speak for other countries, but I'm sure it can be quite similar. If you can save a few pennies on your fuel and your mode of transport, get yourself a motorbike. It's a lot cheaper and there are a lot of other more benefits to it as well. Okay guys, coming on to point number 4 of why you should ride a motorbike. And this is a very big point. One of the main ones is commuting in a city. It's just an absolute no-brainer. My God, you save a lifetime in the city, not just of your personal time. One of the benefits is you can use bus lanes in the city. It's completely legal, so we're in a bus lane now. Can just overtake all of the cars here. You have to be aware, so I'm pulling back into the driving lane now, indicate, check your shoulder. Watch out for the Deliveroo scooter riders. So there's actually been a study done by a professor at the University of Sheffield called Jenny Roberts into the effects that commuting has on our mental health. And she actually found that it has dramatic adverse effects on our mental health, just commuting in the city, due to the lack of control of your commute. Basically, she found it really detrimental to our mental health and to our stress levels as well. It raises your stress by quite a lot. So if you're catching your bus in the morning, I mean, it's up to the bus driver really as when he's going to be there. You don't really have any control as to when your bus driver's going to turn up or when your train's going to turn up. And if you're running late for work, or you've got an important meeting, or you have to be somewhere, you don't want to have to rely on someone else to turn up on time. And the same with a car. I mean, you jump in a car in London, you could just, you know, most of the time forget about it, especially if you're central. Not even worth getting in the car. You'd be better off on the tube. You really have to be on it in the city riding a motorbike. And I really enjoy it, as long as you take it easy. Just go with the flow of traffic. Obviously if you're overtaking traffic, then don't go with the flow of traffic, but you know, make your intentions clear. It makes your roadcraft so much better. There's so much to be aware of in busy cities, like these lights, pedestrians crossing, buses pulling out, stupid people just not looking and crossing the road, cyclists coming up, Larry scooter riders coming up on the inside of you. There's so much to look out for. Another benefit of riding in the city, which I must say is a big one, again saving you money, as well as not paying congestion charge in London. There are an abundant places to park that are for free for motorbikes. So I made a mistake here. I should have been in the bus lane. I mean, look at this traffic ahead. It just goes non-stop. It's ridiculous. I just don't understand why people drive cars in London. Okay, if you need to carry your family around or a load of stuff around, but what are you doing? Like, oh, they're going to be here for hours, these people. It's ridiculous. If you live in a city or near a city, guys, you need transport. 100% get yourself a motorbike. It's a no-brainer. So, coming on to the final point, which to me personally is the most important. They're all equally important, but this is a super important one, especially in 2022, after the pandemic and the hard times that everyone's been having. Bit of roof work going on over there, excuse the sound. I can never find anywhere quiet. Anyway, coming on to number 5. The mental benefits motorbiking has for you and how good it is for your mind. There have been some studies done on it actually, and there's actually a charity now, if you haven't seen them, check them out. They're called Mental Health Motorbike, and they're based up north in the UK, and they're basically there to help motorbikers out who are struggling from mental health problems. Now, it's personal to me myself. If you haven't seen the channel before, I've struggled, and I still do struggle, with various mental health issues, and part of the channel is to speak up about them and spread the word of how beneficial motorbiking can be for it. Yeah, so we'll just go over the points that motorbiking is so good for your mental health and for your mind for that matter as well, just in general. Even if you're not suffering from a mental health problem, getting on your motorbike, which we'll jump on and go for a ride in a bit, I find it easier to explain when I'm actually on the bike riding. I don't know if you've ever done it, I'm sure you've heard of it, mindfulness meditation. It's very similar to that, riding your motorbike. You don't even have to try, so you just jump on your bike. It's such an involving experience. It just makes you so much more mindful. It really does. I can feel it when I'm riding. I can feel my mind working. It's like reading a book, you know? Very similar to that, slightly. It's like reading a book, as in it's exercising the mind. You can feel it exercising your mind. It brings you much more into the moment, and you're sort of giving yourself a running commentary as you're riding of what's going on around you in order to basically stay safe and enjoy the ride. Let's jump on the bike and go for another ride down Box Hill this time and talk about the mental health benefits. Right. So why is motorbiking, why should you get a motorbike? For your mental health and to train your mind. Well, when riding your bike, first off, and you may see this as a negative, but you're actually obviously quite a bit more fragile than you are in a car or many other vehicles, because there's nothing protecting you. It's just you on a bike. There's no metal or glass or anything around you. But for that very reason, that's why I think it's so good for your mind. You're closer to nature and to your environment, the smells, the views, the wind, the temperature, everything. And that just immediately helps bring you out of your head without even having to try. Like I'm doing it now. You see these woods and the trees, the speed bumps, the road's wet. Got to be aware of that. There's so much more you need to be aware of on a motorbike. So much more than in a car. Like it really is good for training your mind. I mean, I'm coming down here, the road's a bit damp. I'm having to take that into consideration. I mean, this is a fairly quiet lane, but I'm thinking of oncoming cars and what my exit will be when an oncoming car comes. Obviously I'll pull over to the left a bit, but I'm spying like wider bits in the road. And even the noise of motorbikes, I know you can get that in cars, but it's so much more of a visceral experience on a motorbike. Why would you not want to do it? There's so many points I can talk about mental health, go on forever. It gets you out traveling, gets you out the house more because of the first point, it's so much fun. For that reason, even if I don't need to go anywhere, it's very rare in a car that I'll get in my car to go for a pleasure drive. I'll do it every now and then, but not often. But on my motorbike, probably 90% of the time I get on it, it's because I want to go for a ride. If I'm feeling bad, then I'll jump on the bike, go clear the head, have a bit of a blast, have a bit of a cruise, and it completely relaxes me and makes it feel so much better. Not just the motorbike is your vehicle and your steed. It gets you out of your house or wherever you are, but it lets you travel more, and travel, of course, we all know the benefits of travel and experiencing new cultures, new places. Also, motorbikes, they bring you out of your comfort zone much more than many other vehicles, because now it's a nice day today, but it's a bit chilly, and especially over the winter you can get some bad weather conditions, and that takes you out of your comfort zone. It makes you colder. If it's raining, you're wet and it's cold, and you really feel that. To me, I find that as a bonus. We can often, again, especially in the pandemic, caught up, isolated, and that'll sort of start to hurt your brain, being isolated for that long. Getting out of your comfort zone a bit on something that's new, it just refreshes a new spark in the brain. It gives the brain interest, it gives it active, bit much, but something to live for, something to be excited for. So thank you very much for watching. If you like the video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Many more to come and lots planned. I've actually new video coming out soon. I've got some news to release, so stay tuned for that. Even if you're not thinking about it, get out there, get your motorbike license and get yourself a motorbike. Worlds of benefits. This is only 5 of them. Thanks for watching, all the best. Ciao Bella!